From humble beginnings. To growth and evolving. And the arrival. This is First GenXers.
Poetic beat, poetic beat, poetic beat. Poetic beat, poetic beat.
Yo, what's up? We all the way live. Bring that 70s funk. Say know what I'm talking about. He old. No. Anyway. All right. Yeah, but here's the thing about it, man. He make old look good because me, I look older than him, and he got about 10 years on me. So
Facts. Facts.
but
You
all
guys,
right, y'all.
you guys also look good bald. Where
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, it just ain't working for me.
Hey man, the ball can look good, and even the what I call it, the dome look, the retractable dome look.
I got,
you know.
hey, I got the beard because of Riker. I'm going to end up like Picard. So
Right on.
Damn.
You end up
boy.
looking like Braun Strowman when you're done, buddy. All right. So yeah, y'all, what's up?
maybe if I ate Braun Strowman.
Oh man, well say, but yeah, so welcome y'all. This is this week's edition of the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on First GenXers Twitch TV. I am the man known as Double KK Double, aka Dark Lord 100, and right here to my what would be y'all right or left is Rune Scryer, aka Dave. What's up?
Hey.
And then below us, we got the patriarch to most of this, the man I've known for way too goddamn long, the one and only Saint, a.k.a. Agent K28.
What's
right
good,
here.
y'all? What's good? What's good?
Y'all recognize his face from, all the great video game streams he does, and as well, named BT Deuce. So, y'all, look. I had to open up with this because it's three older gentlemen. I will call us respectfully.
Yeah, let me sit up for this one.
We are of the same ilk as the one and only METHED or whatever, a Method Man.
Hey.
Sorry, I messed it up.
Yeah. You fucking up.
But I have a lot of respect for him. The man is a triple threat. He's a producer. He's a rapper. He's a friggin' movie star, and yeah. He made a comment. So if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably seen the fact that Method Man made a comment recently that he was no longer going to be performing at the Summer Jam concerts in New York. And the reason that he gave was a very specific reason, and that was that the generation gap between the kids that are coming to the concert now and his music is too wide for them to truly enjoy his show. Okay, it was so bad that I guess a lot of the crowd participation parts weren't exactly going as an artist would like them to go. So he said he won't be back. Didn't take, as far as I'm concerned, didn't take any shots at anybody, didn't say anything about, oh, fuck them kids, which he very well could have said, but instead he just stated that it's just too large. And so I want to get y'all thoughts, because I kind of agree. Like, mess music is more for our generation than it is for this next generation. They like the Sexy Reds and the Migos and all of that, and that's so far away from Wu Tang and Meth and what Meth and Red were doing back in our day that, like, I understand. Like, they should. That's definitely not a fully functional card if you have Meth in there with them. So, Rune Scar, you kick us off with a different point of view.
Yeah, let's start off with the white man's opinion because that's how it's important to hear. Um, you know, I I'm not a big hip hop guy, not because black white. It's because I didn't grow up with it. It hasn't affected me as much as it's in fact impacted you two guys. But I get what you're saying, Kev.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants. I can guarantee you that no kid of the current generation wants to get dragged to a Billy Joel concert
Right. Right.
or go
Aerosmith
see
concert.
or go see Van Halen
Yeah.
or whatever. I totally understand that, and it's totally good. Um, and I also agree with everything that you said about method. Um, and we're going to get a little sidetracked going into there. Um, I got respect for him to where it's like, if this is just like a nostalgia trip, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Um, I want to, I want to put out stuff that's relevant for everyone, and you know, there's ways of doing it. You um, you know, LL comes out every what decade plus or so
Yeah.
and drops something new, and everyone's all like, "Oh yeah, I forgot LL raps."
Well, here's
And
another
it is a
thing.
damn good rapper too. Same with Dre
Yeah.
and a lot of the legends of hip hop and rap, um, who've gone on to other things.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
I,
um,
I was gonna say I think that for me it's also the aspect of this. Look at the card he was on. Like, Meth didn't belong on that card. Like, Meth would belong on a card with, like, Tribe Called Quest, Most Def. You put him on a card with that, and the crowd that's going to show up for that show,
right.
oh, is going to be repeating every word, shouting it back to him, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
But you put him on a card with a bunch of acts that are from modern day that these 20, 25-year-olds are listening to. And like I said, he is 1,000% correct. The generational gap is too large for him to be on a card like that. And there
He's
is no
going
shame in that.
Yeah, and also when you put him on a card like that, he's going from the headliner to opening or closing status on that because, like you said, it's not what the kids are going to want to go see
Exactly.
in there. And that's a
But
combination of, you know, he's not who we're hearing currently on the radio and Spotify and all that. And
he's not what's in their playlist. Saint,
yeah,
you got some thoughts?
Okay, first of all, I agree with you 100%. That is a card that should have never happened.
Yeah.
And that was so disrespectful you know,
Yeah, to
like
meth and bread.
in not just to hip hop, period. That is something that no, like, wait a minute, hold on. That's like putting a card with Yachty and Ice Cube, something that could never, ever, or should never, ever happen. That was like dead wrong,
Yeah, very true. And
you
so,
know.
well,
I
they
mean, if
meth
it was
rectified.
something, because I mean, if it was something that was supposed to unite hip hop, that definitely was not it.
No,
That
like
was
100%.
definitely not it.
I
No.
have a card that I'm thinking about going to that's going to be happening over at Thunder Valley at their new out here in the Sac area at their new indoor facility, and it's headlined by TLC, which we know it's not really TLC
Yep.
because God rest her soul, Left Eye is no longer with us. Uh, but the rest of the card makes sense to TLC being the headliner. It's groups like Next. It's groups like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. So I don't understand who was the booker. The booker had to be a guy from our generation that was just like, yeah, dude, like, let's bring in Meth. He's hometown boy. And because this was out in New York, like, he's a hometown boy. Like, the crowd will love him. And didn't really think about it because he's thinking of the Meth that he loves and not thinking of what these kids listen to. So,
Yeah.
so like I said, I think Meth. Another aspect on it was I was reading through the comments on a couple of these articles about it, and these young kids out here talking about, oh, Meth was taking a shot at Sexy Red. No, he's not taking a shot at anybody. Like he's just saying, yo, look, like the type of music that I perform ain't what y'all trying to listen to, and so
Yeah.
why should I even be here? Like I should have never even been booked for this shit. And so with that being said, like that's not a shot at the younger generation. Like y'all listen to what y'all listen to. Bottom line is objective fact is nowhere near as good as what we listened to back then. That's just objective fact. No offense to Sexy Red and the Migos and all that. They just aren't as good. Outside of guys like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, it's just not as good as it was back then.
Well, yeah, and I can definitely kind of speak on that because a lot of people need to realize that it's not necessarily the entire generation. I can't
Yeah.
lock them down because there are artists, because there's going to actually be a couple tonight. There's going to be a couple of artists that I have tonight that are going to be, jumping. I'm going to be featuring them tonight on, on the cast, and I can speak if they still, because I mean everybody's trying to sound what's popular, what's
Yeah.
good, because it's all sound like it's ratchet. It's all about making money, this and that, and it's going in that direction. That's what everybody's listening to. Yeah, fine. But for me, I still deal with these young people, and there are artists out there that, that are, on grounds with folks like Method Man, or even like a Missy Elliott or something like that, to that degree.
Let me
There are some that still do that.
let me say this: the ones that are like that are not getting a fair shake that have that sound because major record labels at this point think that that sound is an old sound. When in reality, it's still relevant today. It's still a good sound today. But most of your top record execs are looking at that as old school sound. So they're looking for something new and inventive. And even though these guys, I'm sorry, like this is what I have to. It takes more skill to write something on the lyrical level of a Method Man than it does to write something on the lyrical level of the Migos. And I'm not saying that the Migos wasn't good. I got a couple songs that get me moving. But it takes more brain power to write something on the level of what Meth is saying. Because there's a lot of shit that Meth says that'll go right over your fucking head until he fucking explains it to you. And it's not because he didn't do it. It's just because it's on that intellectual level where you got to know in order to get it.
Yeah. There's, a big difference between the lyrics of, say, Gwen Stefani, and No Doubt, and whoever. Well, they're getting back a little bit to it with Billie Eilish, but
Yeah.
you know, it's the nature of the music industry in general. Um, they want to push the stuff that's easy to consume, the
Right.
palatable.
It's gonna sell. Saint.
Okay, yeah, because yeah, I want to kind of like okay, like let me let me just run that because the Migos, I'm gonna tell you that to me, I will just say this. People often say that the Migos was one of the greatest groups of all time.
I
And
think
yet,
statistically, probably
yeah.
yeah.
Hold on. Yes. Well, not even, I mean, I can't even agree on a really on a statistic level because I mean, yeah, it's a whole different, ball, it's a whole different ball of wax on how the music industry was then and how it is now. But what I'm saying, because I mean, if you talk about money and popular a little popularity, okay, I get that, maybe. But we talking about history, we're talking about albums built, so forth, like in the case with BTH, Bone Thugs and Harmony, okay? And how they made the comparisons between the Migos and
Yeah.
and them. And my whole point was because I made a point of this a long time ago. Bone Thugs and Harmony were before the Migos, during the Migos,
And after the
and
Migos.
after the
Yeah.
Migos.
One hundred
Okay.
percent.
Nothing to take away from the Migos.
Yeah.
But then you got to understand you got one that's gone,
Yeah.
one that has
Definitely
lost
so.
his entire respect
Yeah.
in the music industry because,
I ain't gonna
you
lie, Chris
know,
Brown laid that nigga
yeah,
down to sleep.
yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, Chris Brown.
Like, I'm
That
sorry,
yeah.
but listen, because listen, there was a concert here in Hartford,
uh,
okay, and the attendance was not grand, okay, and it
uh,
was around, yeah, like
yeah.
it was around those that were truly loyal to
Yeah,
him. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Yeah, no, that, yep,
We
nope,
got
no,
we got
yeah,
Bone Thugs doing small venue tours up here in Oregon
Yeah, I just
throughout
and
the
saw him.
summer.
probably
I just saw him a
selling
couple
out.
weeks ago at Ace of Spades in Sacramento, or a couple months
And,
ago in
yeah,
February. I just saw
and
them at,
there's, and
and
I
they are
guarantee
still,
you,
yeah,
and
they
they're
are
still
still.
selling out. They're
The
still
only issue
selling
that
out.
Bone Thugs is having right now is, God said, pray for him. Crazy Bone is having some health issues, but he looked like he was on the way up. He had to. That's why the concert that we were supposed to go to in November got postponed to February because he was having some health issues. But when I saw him in concert, he looked like he was on his way up.
Yeah,
So hopefully we'll see
Mhm.
more concerts with him in the future.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's just quickly, I didn't want to detail it a minute, but I'm just going to say this. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the younger generation and what they want to bring to the table.
Oh yeah,
But the thing about it is, though, America, is that we're not dead yet. You
yeah,
understand? Generation X still lives on. If you don't have the proof, look at what the Rock the Bells concerts bought.
yeah,
Those concerts that were going across America, dealing with the different,
yeah.
the different, artists and so forth that were appearing wherever they were. And the simple fact is that a lot of that stuff came about. We still
hmm
love our artists,
Yeah.
and we are still rocking with these artists with the new shit. And you sometimes I think y'all are still a little upset that you still rocking the mic. We're still rocking the mic the way we do. You still don't have that praise with Eric B and Rock, like with Rakim is getting ready to drop an album.
Because
Come on, folks.
here's the problem,
Ah,
and here and I'll we can
ah,
close the segment on this part of the subject. Here's the
yeah.
problem. Somewhere along the way, I don't know when. I can't pinpoint a specific point in music history when this happened. At some point along the way, when it came to rap and hip hop, it became more about the hook and the beat than it was about the lyrics. In the beginning, in the beginning, it was like Grandmaster Fast and the Furious 5, KRS-One, lyrics. Like it was about telling you a story. That's why rappers were back in that time were considered modern day storytellers. And somehow it just 100% became less and less about it became less and less about what you're saying in the actual verses and um more about the hook and the chorus and being catchy and being something that can be played over and over and over again on the radio without people getting tired of it. You know,
Exactly, that's the point.
and so it's just it doesn't feel like there's as much effort put into actually saying something worthwhile. You have this platform. You have millions of ears for 4 minutes, and you have nothing to say. And I think that for me is at the core of what my issue is with modern day hip hop. It's not just that I'm old and don't like the new stuff. It's that the older stuff had a message. There yes, don't get me wrong, there were stupid songs, the Humpty Dance, don't get me wrong. There were songs that were there just for you to enjoy. But for the most part, a lot of our key rappers, Public Enemy, guys like that, were all Melly Mel. All they had KRS. They all had a message to what they were saying, and I think that has been completely lost in
Uh,
today's music.
okay, and there's the other thing. See, now hip hop songs are most of them are about 2 minutes, like maybe 2 minutes and 37 seconds, maybe the max three something. Because I mean, it's a vibe. You spit some lyrics, whatever the hell it is, and then you you drop the chorus, and then
Yeah, they,
But again,
and it's not memorable.
yeah,
yeah,
my
it's not.
last word on this is seeing it again outside of looking in. Rap, hip hop, they'll start with the goofy, listenable hooks. Okay, you get back before you had KRS One, for Public Enemy, for NWA, for the real street storytellers. What opened the door to rap in the mainstream music genre was Sugar Hill Gang,
Yeah.
Blondie's Rapture. I mean,
Yeah.
that
But even with
those
Sugar
are
Hill
just
Gang, their hit, they
yeah,
had
yeah,
a story. You know, it's a
yeah,
story being told to you.
yeah,
You
yeah. It
know,
is. Yeah, and even Blondie is very weird cosmic poetry, but it wasn't the same. But you need the pop like that. You need
the
the
catchy hook.
you need the baby food
Yeah.
before you move on to the solid stuff.
Well, let's hope that that's the direction we're heading, and shit's only
Yeah.
gonna get better from here. All
Okay,
right.
real quick,
Yeah. What's up,
let me
Saint?
just go ahead and I just want to go ahead and send a shout out to the folks chatting in. Tracy 69, Triple X. I know who you are, definitely coming straight out the middle, somewhere in the Ozarks, somewhere out there in country, that part. I already know what it is. And then of course tapping in BGU squad up. Be more humble gaming in the building. What's
What up?
up?
What
How
up?
you doing?
What
All
up,
right,
y'all?
Hey
continue
guys.
All
on,
right, so
sir.
y'all are in for a treat right now because we are going into our first topic segment. That's right, Pop Culture Corner, where all your favorite hookers dress like comic book characters. Uh,
Ouch.
what is up, y'all? All right, so for this week's Pop Culture Corner, we're going to talk a little bit about a lovely trailer that was shown to us by Mr. Dave over there, uh, called for a movie called Piece by Piece, and it is the life story of Pharrell Williams, but told in Lego. So, tell us a little bit about it, or what you know about it, Dave.
Okay. Again, not coming from a very educated point about hip hop. I know Pharrell's big. I know Happy. Okay. I
Oh,
I know Blurred Lines. That's
yeah.
basically about it. But I know the dude's been around forever.
Yeah.
Um, so my my take on it, going through it, I think it's interesting because it does kind of tie into what we were just talking about, bridging the generation gap.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way of doing it.
Oh.
I think that given Pharrell's outlook on life, it's a very innovative way of doing it. Um, I think also, he mentions in the trailer being a kid and listening to music and seeing all these vibrant colors in there. I don't know if he's got what's called synesthesia, which is where when you experience one sense, it
Mm.
triggers another sense.
Oh.
So that's how, some people can hear colors.
Okay.
Um, but I think that it's a very imaginative way and playful way.
Right.
And that's what I get from what I know of Pharrell is that he's imaginative, he's playful, he can be serious at times, but generally it's a positive outlook on life,
Yeah.
and it's embracing his oddness,
Very much so.
as whatever it may be. So, um, yeah, I think it'd be interesting to check out when it comes out in October,
Yeah.
and we'll have the link for everyone to decide for themselves on our Facebook page.
First Gen Xers on Facebook.
Yep.
Find us, like us. Saint, your thoughts on the trailer?
I did get a chance to see the trailer. Like I said, it's it's genius. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a little different. I mean, I would have just rather have seen some regular animation, but I mean, it's Legos,
Yeah.
and I mean, don't get me wrong, kind of it is kind of in a cute type of way, but it's just something I think that's
Different.
it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
I'll
Well, I'll put
I'm
my
with
two.
it.
I'll
I'd be
put my
with it.
I'll put my 2 cents in like this. The Lego part is kind of what excited me about it, because here's the angle I'm going to come at it from. Y'all can tell me if y'all understand or agree or disagree. Almost
Okay.
when you look at most of the documentaries or docu type movies that are done about hip hop artists, rappers, um, they normally have a darker overtone to them. You look at Biggie's story. You look at the many times they've done Pac's story. And I'm not
Straight
putting
out
him on that
company.
level. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting him on that level as far as skill wise. Even though as a producer he is on that Dre, type level of as a producer. Um, but like this is more of a positive, happy, more so about the music type version of a movie, which definitely is more. And you throw in the Lego thing, and it makes it a lot more. Yeah, like Andre 3000. Thank you, Be More Humble. Like for sure, like Andre doing the flute album, just getting out and putting something into the universe that's different. Like the Pharrell Williams story, piece by piece, will be remembered always because it was done in Lego. People will be talking about this 10 years from now. Like, yeah, dude, that was an interesting little story told there, and it was just him letting people learn about his life in a unique way from his unique perspective of the world. Because one of the little known facts about Pharrell Williams that I always like mentioning, I mentioned it to Dave a little earlier when we were talking, is that a lot of people don't know is by the time he actually hit the scene and blew up, Pharrell had been producing tracks for years prior to that. Like he didn't just step into the game and boom, took off like a hot rocket. He had been doing for years. And what was funny was, at least from my perspective as a fan of his, he had worked on a lot of my favorite tracks for the years before he became a known quantity. He had been a producer on a lot of those tracks, and I
The
had no clue.
Neptunes.
Yeah, the
The
Neptunes.
Neptunes.
And so with that being said, I look at his life as a unique story within itself. So why not tell it in a very unique way? And that's what I see him doing with this movie, and it makes me happy. It does. One of his best songs was "Happy," but we will. But it's just Pharrell. Nerd, yeah, like I their first album. My God, I could still listen to that album over and over and over again and enjoy every single track. That first
I
Nerd album was slapping. Go on, say.
Yeah, is Jay-Z gonna appear
Yeah,
as a Lego? What?
yeah. Jay Z's there as Lego
So is Snoop. Yep,
and Timbaland.
Oh, I
and
thought I
Timbaland.
okay. Okay.
You know what they need to do? Here's just a random thought to throw out there since we're talking about Lego movies. They need to redo the entire movie Be Cool in Legos. Like, if you have ever seen the movie Be Cool, Said the Entertainer, John Travolta, Uma Thurman, I believe,
Yeah.
Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, like it's an all-star cast. And yeah, like I would just love to see that entire movie redone in Legos. Be cool, man. Weezy. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so yeah, needless to say, that's my dream. Yeah, Andre 3000 was in it. Dabu.
Mhm.
This ain't gangster. Okay, this ain't
Nice.
gangster. But yeah, so that was just my little moment there. But needless to say, yeah. And Dave, you had told us about it. You had told me about another movie as well. Once Upon a Time in Shaolin,
Okay,
or no,
no,
not
this
well, not
isn't.
a movie, but it was a
Yeah,
Wu Tang album.
yeah. The one and only copy of the Wu Tang album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, is going to be played for in full, but in Tasmania.
But in Tasmania.
Wait a
Yes.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me the most secret album that the Wu-Tang Clan has ever made is only going to be broadcast in Tasmania? What type of fuckery is that?
I don't know the details. Okay, but we all know Wu Tang made only one copy of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Okay, even I know this.
Yeah.
Okay, we all know that douchebag bio bro Martin Shkreli, who went to prison for securities fraud and not for jacking up the price of a needed medication 4,000% after he bought the company, but he had bought the sole copy. And when he reported to prison and his empire began crumbling around him, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin got assets seized and turned over to the New York, one of the New York museums. I think the Met has it. I'm pulling up the. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Like that's
but
just weird.
for some reason, yeah, yeah, and dude bought the only copy for the album for $2 million. So,
See,
um, and so according to the Guardian, and I'll drop the link in the Facebook page again. The Museum of Old and New Art in Hobart, Tasmania, has acquired the album on loan from the digital art collective Pleaser, Pleasr,
okay.
for its
Wait a
upcoming
minute.
exhibit
No,
Name Dropping.
the fuckery is that it's on loan.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's on loan. What?
yeah. But for its upcoming exhibition Name Dropping, which will explore status, celebrity, and notoriety.
Wow. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Like yeah. That's some new. It it reminds me of the factoid about Prince. Like a lot of people. If you want to know where I got this story from, I got it from An Evening with Kevin Smith. If you've ever seen that, uh, drop Dave. A request has been asked. Can you drop that link in the chat room,
Yeah, you
if
betcha.
possible? Well, I'll say, but An Evening with Kevin Smith, where he talks about going to Paisley Park, right? Because Kevin Smith requested for Prince to come and shoot a documentary for him, right, about the release of one of his albums. And he goes there, he does it, and he's leaving, and he's talking to Prince's assistant, and he's like, "So, when can we expect to see this? We're doing red carpet." And she goes, "Oh well, yeah, no, you don't expect to see it. Like basically, Prince has a vault of recorded videos, music, movies, etc. that he requests in his will never be released. And they just stay in that vault. So somewhere in Paisley Park, there is a vault that exists, a bunch of unreleased Prince documentaries, videos, music, etc. Videos for songs of his that he never released videos for, that he just had made and he put away in the vault and just never. I'm like, wow, like what's in there? And that kind of like is the same thing. Like the Wu-Tang Clan had this, and one album was made. This is the first, to be honest with you. The reason why I'm so shocked, because this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard a lot of the lore, and I'm just like, wow, like really,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay. So in 2021, the U.S. Okay, hold on a second. So Shkreli bought it at auction. Who became notorious when he hiked the price of a drug used by cancer and AIDS patient by 50-fold overnight. He promised to release the album if Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election. When he did, Shkreli streamed excerpts online. He later tried to sell the album on eBay, where the price reached 1.2 million. Remember, he bought at auction for 2 million. RZA said, "I didn't like the idea of him putting it on eBay. I think he could have gotten more than what he paid. He should have gotten more than what he paid." In 2018, after Shkreli's conviction for securities fraud, he was forced to hand over the album as part of his 7.4 million in assets that were seized by a federal court, which also included Picasso painting and the unreleased Lil Wayne album, The Carter Five.
What?
Yep.
What?
In 2021, the U.S. Department of Justice sold Once Upon a Time in Shaolin to Pleaser for $4 million to cover Shkreli's debts, with the collective stating at the time it would find a way to make it accessible to the world. So this is the first time that the album has been loaned to museums since the original sale.
Well, thank you, please.
Wait a minute, hold on. And you're talking about, wait a minute, because I had heard so many different rumors about the Carter Five. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy as fuck, man.
Yeah. just goes to show, you know, when you're rich, you want your toys, and you won't let anyone else play with them.
Yeah, I get that, but still, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
It's
but
it's the fuckery.
yeah,
It's the fuckery.
Mona will hold free ticketed listening sessions from June 15th, June 24th, where members of the public can hear a curated 30-minute mix of the album played from personalized Wu-Tang PlayStation 1 inside Mona's recording studio.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, so
Wow.
yeah, like I said, it's yeah. But we're gonna what else was I gonna say? Well,
But yeah, speaking of method,
yes, you know, that man. Hey, I could go over the Method Man catalog all day, all night, because that man constantly evolved himself, him and Red, to be whatever was needed for them to stay relevant. And hey,
yep.
they stayed relevant. And as far as I'm concerned, as much as the kids may not know who they are, they still relevant today.
No, because they see him only as an actor.
Right.
They see
Right.
him only as an actor, but not understanding that they are the greatest group
Yeah,
ever
it's
in the history of hip hop. and that is the Wu Tang Clan.
You know,
Point blank. Period. Dot T.
like I said earlier, it's you know, LL is seen more as an actor. Everyone forgets, that he can rap.
Even
And
I
yes,
sometimes listen to
for
old LL
dropping
tracks and go,
out
"Oh
of
yeah,
that,
no,
Q.
Listen,
this dude's
listen.
one of the
LL,
greatest
listen.
lyricists
LL
ever."
still listen. LL still got it. Okay, there's a song out there in internet land. It's a song called "The Force." Okay, it's a song that's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. If you can find it, I'm pretty sure that you should probably all know. I'm sure that a lot of folks have heard it because I've even played it.
Yep.
But and then Ice Cube is still doing. I mean, Mount Westmore. He's still
He's still
dropping
out there
solo
performing.
albums. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, Ice T.
Ice T.
You
Yeah.
know, he's gone
Yeah,
from
Ice T. Oh, but see, Ice T still do. Listen, Ice T. Let people need to realize that Ice T will still back into the booth,
yeah,
throw some lyrics at you, and then people will be shocked and in awe. Just like when Queen Latifah, she really ain't been in the rap game for hella years, but when she do step in there with she did a song with DJ K Slay with Jada Kiss and Bun B. She was in that, and then of course, she's done songs with this artist named Rhapsody. So it's like, and she still got it. Like,
yeah,
none
yeah,
of these youngsters are ever going to challenge, like really
yeah,
seriously challenge, and they will dust you. They will dust off the mic, and they will do. Period. Point
Yep.
clear.
yeah.
That's
And it's interesting because just from my standpoint, yeah, you know, Van Halen, there's AC/DC, they're still around, they're still fun,
Yeah.
but they can't remain
Relevant.
relevant
Right.
as opposed to, okay, good example, from the white perspective, AC/DC versus Midnight Oil. Everyone knows AC/DC.
Yeah.
Okay, Midnight Oil remains a small, socially relevant band because every so often they'll keep dropping hits. They're the ones who sang uh, Beds Are Burning.
Yeah.
How do people while our beds are burning? Uh, they are, what pub rock Aussies who sing about and support Aboriginal independence,
Okay.
and they continually sing about. They bring these songs up with working with Aboriginal artists in there, and so they do songs like "Beds Are Burning," "The Dead Heart." If you have not heard "The Dead Heart," that is an absolute banger of
Yeah.
a track.
Nice.
Um, and they don't do that much anymore, but when they do come out, yeah, it's a great song and it's got a lot of social relevance um, to what's going on down in Oz.
For sure. For sure. And then what was I say? But yeah, like in general, what was I say? I do apologize there, gentlemen. Did not mean to yawn. Uh, go ahead,
you're
sir.
you're getting man-itis, bro. You're getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So then we'll go on ahead and close down there. Okay. Let's say we're gonna take our quick commercial block, run some commercials for you, and then we will be back to talk a little bit about SmackDown Alley. And it's a different talk. We're not talking about what happened on Raw or SmackDown. I got a specific subject for us to talk about this week. So y'all stay with us. We right here on the commercial list episode of First Cheap Pop
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, and for the month of June, especially, we are getting ready to we're getting ready to prepare for our our affiliate anniversary. This is going to be our 1 year as affiliate, and we're doing that sometime in June. I can't remember the exact date, but it's the same day as somebody else I know that that we became affiliates. But we are doing no ads this month, so we can get the whole full show. So we want to do our own shit. This is how we
Yeah.
do things. So go ahead, drop them commercials, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Make it happen, sir.
Deuces,
Yeah.
as one of my favorite content creators says. Hey.
You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the most high let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep it.
Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
This is now versus then. 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 This is now versus then.
You getting on my nerves. You getting on my nerves. Gang, gang, bitch. You getting on my nerves. Gang, gang, bitch. You getting on my nerves. Get your titty, get your titty, get your titty on. Gang, gang, bitch. Get your titty, get your titty, get your titty on. I said what I said. No, please don't tell on me. No, please don't tell the police. Gang, gang, you getting on my nerves. She getting on my nerves.
Saturday night on the First GenXers Radio Network on Live 365.
You are my everything.
Sick and tired of hearing all these people talk.
I'll never break.
These arms won't let.
So join us on Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. And that brings us back on that wonderful laugh there. Just to reintroduce y'all for all y'all that just may have joined us, I am Dark Lord 100, aka Double K, K Double. To the left of me is the one and only Rune Scryer, Dave, and then below us is the matriarch or the patriarch,
Yeah,
Mister
yeah, yeah,
Saint
yeah.
Agent
Hey,
K28.
It's June. We don't judge.
I'm a
Right, exactly.
motherfucker though. No, no, hey, no. I'm 100% all man. Thank you very much.
All right, so
I affirm I'm one.
we now have the next segment that we go into, which is Smack Down Alley. You know what I'm cooking. Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna talk a little bit of wrestling, big men in tiny shorts rolling around in the ring. It's fun.
Again, it's June. We don't judge.
Well, okay. So what I meant by we're gonna talk about it a little bit differently is we're not just gonna talk about Clash at the Castle that's coming up this Saturday. We can leave that for later if we decide to talk about it, but probably not. But we're going to open up with a specific subject that even Dave can join into. This week, a little man, a little cokehead by the name of Tony Khan, decided to put out a little tweet complaining about the predatory business practices of WWE. Things like, I guess, contract tampering was one of the accusations. Another was that they have a tendency to try to get arenas to sign exclusivity clauses when they bring in WWE to perform at their arena. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to get this off my chest real quick. Yes, they're considered predatory business practices, but I don't really consider them predatory business practices because they're just a small byproduct of a capitalistic society. If you want to change the predatory business practices, you have to move away from a capitalistic society because the pure nature of a capitalistic society is big dog supposed to eat little dog. That's just how it works. And so when you understand that, it doesn't look as predatory because WWE is doing what a large company should do to maintain their market share. Is it fair? Nah, I agree that it's not fair. Is it right? Nah, it's not right. But it is a byproduct of the way we choose to live, we choose to run our economy. So don't complain about it now. Like the analogy I gave Roomscar off air was that be like me being hired as a food server and then complaining about having to serve food to people. Like, I knew that was part of the job when I got in it. So, Roomscar, your thoughts on this, and then Saint, go ahead and follow him up.
I mean, I completely agree with you. It's just the nature of thing. You know, look at Disney and all the flack that Disney gets for eating up Marvel, for eating up Star Wars, for eating up all these other IPs. Like, what else do you want them to do? This is how the system works, for better or for worse. And to get a little bit back to what you were saying, Kev, um, it's the old throwaway line from the Super Chicken cartoon. I'm sorry, Fred, but you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. You know, it really is. And Kev was telling me off, before the broadcast, you know, we knew in the 90s, in the Attitude Era, about Vince pushing steroids on the stars to muscle them up.
Yep.
You know, this was public knowledge. There was an entire congressional inquiry about this. So you go in and, does it suck that WWE is really the only real professional wrestling game in town? Yes. But even then, it's not really the only game in town.
It's not. Otherwise.
There are hundreds of indie promos across the country. Whatever region of the U.S. you live in, there is a independent wrestling group that you can be a part of.
Yep. Within a rock's throw of
You're
any
just
house
not
that you
gonna
live
be
in
breaking-
any city.
Yeah. You are just not going to be stardom that you want and the payout that you want for putting your body on the line like that. That's the honest truth.
That is. Saint.
Um,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I will say this, that's pretty much the same. That's pretty much the same amount as business, as it's the same as any kind of business where you seek your fame and your fortune,
Right.
regardless of, what the situation, is that the thing about it is, though, what I do need to, we do need to take a caution at is that you have to be absolutely careful in how you step, and how you step on, across that wire, that obviously you tripped on, you know what I'm saying? It's those kind of,
Yeah.
because
Uh,
if you know full and knowingly well that this was something that you knew about it, and yet you proceeded carry on with it, then I'm like,
and there's always going to be
man, you just stepped on the wire and you
yeah,
just blew yourself the fuck up.
there's
Like,
always going to be the unexpected, horrible situations like Scooter Braun, like Harvey Weinstein, where there's going to be exploitations and expectations of the people in power towards how you behave to them. And it's a fine line to walk, you know? It's not always something that you're going to be able to walk successfully. So you have to make decisions. And I agree, it absolutely sucks, especially for women performers
Yeah.
who have to put up with these old guys. This is across every media, music, movies, TV, writing, comics, everything. There are
yeah,
dirty old men in power that women will have to deal with that they should not have to deal with.
No argument here.
And
I agree.
we need to we need to we need to change the systems. We need to do better.
Yeah. 100%. And like I said, when it comes to the point that I was making when I was talking about as well with the service analogy is that I've always had an issue dating back to my days with the Raw Impact Unleashed, which for those of you who don't know, that's where this show was kind of derived from. Uh, uh, that I've had an issue with the way that people join WWE happily, or WWF back in the day, sign the contract, knowing what they're stepping into, and yet still come out and spend the first 6 months after their release or after they leave the company talking shit about WWE.
Right.
But what's makes it even more unique or frustrating to me is that they're complaining about the same things that they knew about going in.
Right.
And so, bad locker
And
room environment, Vince McMahon being overbearing. These are things that you knew when you signed on the dotted line, but you still signed and took that check. But now you want to say this is the reason why you left because you couldn't deal with that. Well, then why'd you go in the
and
first place?
there's a difference
Yeah,
between stuff that's publicly known, like WWE, and stuff that's like completely unexpected,
right.
like the comic industry finally having to deal with work for pay
Yeah,
legacies. Okay, you know, the way the comic books took off in pop culture in the past 20 years, nobody saw it coming.
yeah, one hundred
At
percent.
best, you're going to have the odd hit for the big things like Superman or Batman.
Yeah,
Nobody saw the
the MC.
MCU coming
Yeah,
in there. But the problem is that the MCU is based on work that incredible people are not going to get
I
credited for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
You know, Ed Brubaker with Winter, Christopher Priest, Todd Nehesi Coates, Reggie Hunt for Black Panther. That vision you saw, Wakanda, wasn't Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's original vision. Okay, that was the product of 30 plus years, with a lot of it becoming because of black creators getting added in the 90s
Yeah.
and giving a more authentic voice to Wakanda and T'Challa. You know, that 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 Luke Cage that you saw on Netflix, and that, rest in peace, Evil. Sad to see you go, but Mike Coulter's free again,
Yay.
just in time. But yeah, that vision that we saw of Luke Cage on Netflix, that was not the Sweet Christmas Power Man of the 1970s. That was Luke Cage being written by black creators
Yeah.
in the 90s. So
It's
that's, and they're not, and people aren't getting credit. They're getting like little small thanks in there.
got a bunch of Isaiah.
But
Isaiah, what was his
it's
name from Captain America?
Bradley. Yeah.
Isaiah Bradley's.
Yeah. There's people heavy lifting to get these characters where they are. They're not going to see a dime off of the characters that they created, and helped improve because of the contracts. And that's something that got sprung on people. And it's
100%.
also not like the situation with Hasbro,
Yeah.
makers of Dungeons and Dragons, which for the past 5 years has continually been stepping on its own dick, okay, by trying to eliminate the third party publishing market by altering the contracts, the open license contracts that they were publishing for third edition D&D, for fifth edition D&D. They're trying to, okay, we've got this whole third party uh, publishing system that's supporting our game. We're going to just yank and rip out those contracts you guys have been using to publish our system for free, for all, because we now got Vox Machina, Critical Role, that's pulling in millions of dollars in licensing each year that we don't see anything of. That's going to end. And yeah, that did not go over too well. It didn't go over too well when they said, "Oh, we don't use artificial art. No, here artificial intelligent art. No, here's where you use AI art. Oh, well, we're not going to use AI art going forward anymore." That was December. Okay, that was literally the company line in December. This month, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, put out a job ad for an AI tech to train their systems. Okay,
Don't pay attention to what we doing over there. That doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Who are you gonna believe, baby? Me or your own eyes?
Exactly.
Delete.
Delete, delete, delete. Hey,
It's
we
just
may get
so-
him back in WWE via the TNA WWE relationship. Don't forget that he's in TNA now.
Yeah.
Broken Matt Hardy is back in TNA. All right. Saying any last words on this?
Um. No. No.
No. All right. So then we're gonna
Yeah,
go on ahead and
sorry,
take
I was sucking up
ourselves.
the oxygen.
No. It's all good. Better than
No.
better.
No. I'm just no. No. Dave. No. Dave kept it a buck. It's just that I just had to.
Yeah. All right. So
he,
then
he
we'll.
he he spoke the words I could not,
There you
especially keeping it clean. It's a PG type of conversation.
go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go into our last segment of the day, as always, and that is the gaming. Podcast. And there we go. So, gentlemen, I will leave the floor to you to start with any video game news, notes, and reviews you may have.
Okay. Well, Dave, you could kick it off because I actually have to talk about two, and one is definitely a throwback, but one is definitely a throwback. So,
Okay.
knock it. Go ahead.
Okay. So, brand new news on the Fallout front. After the success of the Amazon TV series, and if you haven't seen it, why not yet? Um, Bethesda announced that Fallout 76 is going to let you play as a ghoul. So apparently it's going to be where you hit level 50 and you can choose to play a ghoul. For those of you not as familiar with Fallout lore, ghouls are radiated people who um, are resistant to damage and are virtually immortal. And they look like walking zombies, but they don't have to be. There is a perk that you can get where in some games where you literally start eating your human opponents to regenerate health. Um, but ghouls are, they're just people that most of them are just trying to survive, and there's some that the radiation has warped their brain and they go feral. But yeah, one of the runaway characters from the Fallout TV series was uh, Walter Goggins Cooper, who was
Yeah.
the ghoul. Yep. And so
So
now
yeah.
Fallout 76 is going to let you, once your character hits 50, you can decide to be a ghoul if you want. The interesting thing is that this is going to change up the play style for Fallout 76 for players who decide to go this route, because one of the main play styles is what's called the bleeder, which is you take a lot of damage, you get to minimal health in order for a lot of bonus procedures to kick in, um, and buff you up. And so with the ghoul, once you become a ghoul, that play style goes out the window. So
Okay.
we'll see how players
Oh.
adjust.
So, Saint,
Oh.
what you got for us today, brother?
Okay, so is two games. One is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it's I think it's the I think it's the Rita throwback or something like that, but it's a side scrolling old school 2D game with mode 7 graphics, like from the PlayStation, not from the PlayStation, but from the Super Nintendo. Like the game is really, like, the trailer just dropped like a couple of days ago, man, and that shit is awesome.
Nice.
That like you really need to check. I think it's a Rift in Time or Rita's Rift in Time or something. But it's kind of like a sequel to the Netflix special that they had, where they had Robot Rita going back in time to the real Rita Repulsa and trying to change it up, and they just turned it into a side-scrolling game. And I think they just did it on the wish list for Steam yesterday.
Nice.
So I was excited about that. But I found out that there was an Xbox showcase today, and I didn't, I really didn't know about it. And today, um, I want to talk about Gears of War E-Day. Like, yes,
Okay.
this is the origin of Marcus Phoenix, and that shit was like, man, that
Yeah.
it was
Blows your mind, huh?
hardcore, man. Like, I one of the franchises on Xbox I've always loved, Gears of War. Not been so much into Halo, but
Yeah.
Gears of War, because it was gritty. It was, you just got the you just killed the shit out of a whole bunch of, aliens and and characters that, that were significant to the whole series. And man, like, I consider one of them, and I think I took that out of my memory. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those games, one of those Gears games, I think I just completely erased. But two is my favorite though.
Okay.
Two
Okay.
is two is definitely
I
my
like
favorite
the
game.
Gears Tactics game. Like I actually did enjoy that one.
Okay, that's a given. That's
Uh,
definitely a given.
well, I say, but no, they both sound like or that sounds like a game that, hey, even I might play. I'm not very big on the third person or first person shooters. Never really have been. And I'll be honest. Yes, it's because I suck at them. But I'm just not very big on them. So like I
Right.
play them sparingly.
Right. And I just saw a notification. The teaser trailer for Civilization 7 just
Nice,
dropped.
nice. Jamil's probably doing backflips right now.
And it is coming from Sid Meier. So,
Nice,
yep.
Oh, that'll be good.
I'll be tossing that in the Facebook page also.
nice. So all right, guys. So does that do it for you, Saint, or you got another game for us, or
Oh
you
no,
all good?
that no, that's pretty much it. I like I said, I just saw the trailer like 20 minutes before we aired, and
Nice.
yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Savage.
And
Sweet.
so one other thing, um, with the success of the Fallout Amazon series, Amazon is going to be adapting another video game franchise,
Okay.
uh, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh yeah, I
Really?
forgot about that.
All right.
They're starting production on doing an adaptation of that series.
Nice. Nice.
You know what? I hope I will tell you this much. I hope that they merge kind of like they kind of merge the universes because other than Yakuza, the you have the Yakuza series, then you have the Judgment games, and then you have the man who I think it's the man who erased his name,
I don't know.
and
I've
it's
never played
all
Seven.
yeah, it's all a part of that all a part of that Yakuza universe. Yeah, I've been
Nice.
playing those games for years, man.
All
Yep.
right.
I'm I'm
So,
I'm with that.
yep. So we'll see that. It's a couple years out at this point, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up there. Why don't we let Saint kick off this week, brother? Where can they find you after this?
You got jokes. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all already know NVT Deuce is gonna be dropping. We're probably gonna drop it just a little bit earlier tonight. We have something special and geared up tonight, and I think that you guys are really gonna want to tap in for this.
All right.
Trust and believe you me. It's definitely gonna be. I definitely have some new music in the mix in the folds, but yeah, tonight we're really gonna be doing something monumental.
And as usual, they'll be all the way live. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. So, Rune Squire, where can we see you next, brother?
I will be back on the Uden Chronicle 100 Heroes tonight
There you go.
on midnight at the Pacific time at the on the night shift. So yeah, I got through that Shiark racing thing. It's kind of goofy. The D-pad worked out better than the thumbsticks.
Nice.
Um, but past that, I now have the bipedal desert mako shark with the spiked wrecking ball as a weapon.
Nice.
Now I got a question though. Hold,
Yeah,
I seriously got a question. Like, dude, you've been playing that game for the better part of a month.
yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, how long, like specifically, how long is this game? How many hours
I
are to completion?
I am looking at this. I don't know how close to completion I am. I'm maybe a third of the way through at this point. I'm guesstimating. But yeah, this is you know, there's 120 characters to recruit. You don't need to recruit them all, but you need to have some of the recruits in order to get some of the upgrades. So that's something I'm going to start doing is um, going out and getting some of the recruits I missed earlier, completing them to bring them in. Um, but yeah, hold on just a second. Let me look up. Uh,
Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna go on ahead and let you know that you can catch me hopefully tonight after MVT Deuce with FC24, continuing the career of Derek Dangerfield, the soccer coach, and myself, Kevin Kendrick, Double K, as a hockey player for the Chicago Blackhawks. You can catch me playing a game of that
Yeah,
and a game of
how
MC
you been
tonight.
doing? How you been doing with that, man? Because I know you've been running those seasons, man. During like
Well,
some real tough runs.
oh yeah, well the I'm pissed off with the soccer right now because the team went down 2-0, came back and went up, was up 6-4 and lost 8-7. So that's the problem with not controlling them. But anyway, yeah. And then as far as the hockey goes, like we're still under 500, but we're winning games. Dave, did you get your information?
Yeah, it said that the nearest competition to the game, which is Suikoden, nearest comparison, because it is a spiritual successor to that game, eh, you can complete it in 27 hours. So um, I, I'm slow, okay?
No,
It's
no,
all
no,
good.
no, 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 no. Because listen. We most of us know that Suikoden and Suikoden 2, we that pretty much like took us like months at a time. I
Yeah,
think the only dedicated person that killed the hell out of it was pretty much either Jamil or possibly Steve. So we really don't know. but
yeah,
no, but if you're going for a game that's going to be complete, you because I think you're more of a completionist
I am
because
very much a
because yeah,
completionist.
so I think you're pretty much gonna run because you've already had I think about maybe close to like 30 episodes of that, and
I
you've
want to
been
say,
No,
don't you
running
on part
like
12, 13?
yeah, I just did part 13 last night.
oh
Yeah.
damn, I guess
Now,
maybe because well no because you run about maybe 4 hours at a time too.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm getting
yeah,
down to 2 to 3 hours
I
time,
want
but
to
yeah,
say, it took me 9 months to kill off Final Fantasy 7.
yeah,
So like it took me 9 months of weekly episodic like 2 hour blocks, and I want to say 70 something hours to finally finish Final Fantasy 7, and I'm 25 hours deep into Final Fantasy 8 right now.
yeah.
I'm on disc 3 so far, so I don't think I have too much more to go. But then after Final Fantasy 7, we're gonna jump backwards to what is technically Final Fantasy 6, but in the States was released as Final Fantasy 3. Lord knows how long it's going to. I don't even remember how long it took me to beat it originally, and Lord knows how long it's going to take me to beat it now. But that's my
nah,
next game on Retro
it's
Saturday.
it's probably not gonna take that long because you got to remember it's not that because of the
It's not
graphical
brand new
engine.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
You could probably kill off in about maybe 2 months.
Oh yeah. And then last announcement before we say goodbye. The commercial for KD5P that I aired is actually for the KD5P, the audio version that's going to be dropping on Thursday night or Thursday afternoon at 3:20. It's the replay of my show from yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to listen in live, you can catch the replay of KD5P. It was boy band week. We had some great groups kicking off with Soul for Real. So check it out over on the First GenXers Radio Network on Live 365. All right. So, gentlemen,
That was terrible.
hey, I do it in every commercial on the show and when I'm on here on Live 365. So, if you don't like my voice, then I guess don't listen to my show. But anyway,
Oh,
but needless to say, hey, I once got told when I was in my early 20s I have a voice for radio. I was also told when I was in my
yeah,
early 30s that I had a face for radio, but that was a whole different thing. All right.
yeah.
So, Saint,
No, we're good. We're good. We're
take us
good.
out. Rune Scrier.
Thank
All
you.
right,
All right, y'all. We'll
ladies and
see
gentlemen,
y'all. There you go. Let's go.
squad up,
Peace.
y'all.
Ooh.